Scientists have estimated that over 40 billion Earth-like planets could exist in the Milky Way. With this many planets, how could we be the only species to ever exist? NASA may have the answer to this question, but it's hidden deep within its archives. So what evidence is there of life on other planets? In this video, join us as we reveal 15 leaked NASA documents that prove aliens exist and forever settle the age-old conundrum. Number 15. 1960 Project Mercury sighting. Almost 60 years ago, NASA's Project Mercury was announced, which was its first space exploration. While the mission was being carried out, a Mercury probe was sent to take pictures of the surrounding area when one shot caught an object which appeared to be a lot like a UFO. The photo was first recognized by UFO researcher Scott Waring, who had previously been affiliated with the United States Air Force. In his UFO blog, he spoke about the picture and how he had come along the disk. He also said that the aircraft must have been there to observe the Mercury capsule. This sparked many controversies, and other scientists quickly presented explanations, such as the fact that it may only have been random space junk. However, the dots failed to add up, considering NASA had only just entered space, which was a vast space with not even satellites. The ruse that this sparked went on for a while before eventually dying down, and it's still unclear as to what happened. Number 14. The Kelvin photo. As far as evidence goes that proves the existence of aliens among us, the Kelvin photo is one of the critical pieces of evidence. In August of 1990, two hitchhikers near Kelvin, Scotland, took a picture that still, after all this time, continues to haunt people in the area. In the photo, two giant vessels are trailing closely by the Scottish Highlands, followed by two fighter jets. The hikers who watched the object for 8 straight minutes estimated the vessels to be about 31 meters long. All this while, the two fighter jets continued to trail the object before it mysteriously flew straight into the sky at insanely high speeds and ceased to exist. Upon return, the hikers submitted 6 photos of the object to Scotland's Daily Record paper. The media organisation then forwarded these images to the British Ministry of Defence, and the entire story was forgotten by both the press and the Ministry of Defence. The pictures also disappeared, and no reports were published about the incredible sighting. Almost 30 years later, these photos were discovered by an academic and journalist known as Professor David Clark. At the time, he was an associate of Sheffield Hallam University. Dr. Clark conducted extensive research on the photos and to the National Archives. He went out of his way to contact previous Royal Air Force press officer Craig Lindsay, who had kept a photo of the incident, which he had come upon by chance. The original image was handed over to Dr. Clark, who submitted it to the university's archives. Although no explanation was provided, this is one of our top stories for today and is a crucial finding in the quest to determine whether there are aliens or not. Number 13. Hacked NASA files. From February 2001 to March 2002, Gary McKinnon hacked into NASA's websites and found private files. One of these files contained a disclosure project, which was essentially a book holding around 400 reports of air-related circumstances. These reports were obtained from ordinary people, air traffic controllers, and 2 people responsible for launching nuclear missiles. In addition, the book had information regarding engineering technology that was taken from destroyed or captured alien spacecraft. Gary stated that these reports seemed to have had credible witnesses. He also reported having seen HD photos kept in the file containing alien activity caught on camera. He was only able to see one photograph, though, and said that it contained a cigar-shaped silver object that had geodesic spheres on both sides and was most definitely taken by a satellite. Other aspects of the classified information included a spreadsheet with the titles non-terrestrial officers and contained ranks of personnel not registered anywhere else. In his words, the spreadsheet also had information about ship-to-ship transfers. Still, he could not see details about these transfers. This reveals that NASA has long withheld information from the public regarding alien sightings and is up to a lot of activity hidden from the public eye. Number 12. The Kecksburg UFO incident. In 1965, in Kecksburg, Pennsylvania, the United States, a fireball was reported to have been seen in the sky. This report was received from residents of over 6 U.S. states and Canada, including Detroit, Windsor, Ontario, and Michigan. As a result of the fireball, reports of grass fires Sonic booms in the Pittsburgh metropolitan area and hot metal debris over the states of Michigan and northern Ohio were obtained. Some people even reported having seen wisps of blue smoke, vibrations, and even a thump, and said to have seen something descend from the sky and crash into the woods. The area was sealed off soon after and later inspected for signs of extraterrestrial life. But here is where the plot thickens. State troopers found nothing upon inspection, which shocked spectators to the core. Many proposed explanations exist, such as an errant missile test, re-entering satellite debris, a meteor, or even a plane crash. But the question remains, if there was an object that would explain the entire incident, where did it go? In December 2005, NASA came out with a new statement regarding the Kecksburg incident, saying that the experts examined the metallic fragments from the area. After the examination, experts deduced that they had remnants of a Russian satellite that had re-entered the atmosphere and subsequently broken up. But NASA also stated that these findings had been lost in the 1980s, which meant no proof of this statement existed. This lack thereof amplifies the strangeness of this entire event. It leads more and more people to believe that it was a UFO that had fallen from the sky that eventful day. Even today, people are still looking into the facts of the case, and witnesses are still being approached to state what they have seen. Some witnesses have even stated that suspicious men came into their homes and threatened them not to reveal any facts of the case to researchers who came by to inquire. Regarding UFO incidents, this one might be our favorite on the list. There is just so much conspiracy surrounding it. Once the Freedom of Information Act was introduced, even after many attempts by NASA to stop it in its tracks, the Kecksburg files were opened once more in 2007, but many files were missing altogether. Strange, right? Number 11. Black Knight Satellite. The Black Knight Satellite is another spectacle to behold in the long list of alien conspiracy theories that NASA is linked with. In an image that NASA captured in 1998, a mysterious black object can be seen orbiting the Earth. This was caught during the first space shuttle mission to the ISS, better known as the International Space Station. Immediately after seeing the image, speculations were roused up and fear started to compound among the public. What was this strange object? According to the space agency, it was nothing more than a scrap of space junk floating about in low Earth orbit within 1,200 miles. It also refers to this entity as item number STS-088-72466 in its catalogue of space junk. An astronaut, Jerry Ross, who took part in that mission, states that the object was a wayward thermal blanket that broke loose in space when the team had tried to attach a US module to a Russian module on the ISS. But for those who believe it's of alien origins, it's a 13,000-year-old artificially made satellite known as Black Knight Satellite, placed up there to observe humans. Some of its origins can even be linked to Nikola Tesla, who noted that he had received radio signals from space in 1899. He believed Martians were trying to communicate with humans. But the matter of it being just an innocuous scrap metal floating around in space or an old satellite belonging to aliens is still as big a mystery as when it was first sighted. The gimbal videos. The gimbal video was found after it was leaked from the US military archives, was the first in a series of 3. It showed a UFO encounter made in 2015 and was taken aboard a Navy fighter jet from the USS Theodore Roosevelt, a nuclear aircraft carrier. This jet was carrying 2 people, one of whom made the video and the other noted the details of the movements and visuals of the UFO. The Navy fighter was currently located off the eastern seaboard near the coast of Florida. An infrared camera that could detect the unidentified alien aircraft was used to make the discovery. The recording is quite blurry since it was taken from quite some distance, but the classic UFO shape can be observed clearly. The Navy fighter jet even has a recording of the pilot characterizing the alleged UFO as a weird-looking object. At first, the pilot assumed that the unidentified object was a drone. Still, the winds at the time were too strong for an ordinary drone, hinting that this may be something else. Even though the winds were quite heavy, the object was seen to rotate around its orbit in a counterclockwise manner. This spin was extraordinary since no aircraft does that. The pilot has even been documented saying, "Look at that thing, it's rotating." After some time, the UFO came to an almost halt. The very release of these videos from the Pentagon vouches for their authenticity and likelihood of being real. Civilian cameras have often caught UFO sightings, but they are often forged or fake. With NASA stumbling upon this sighting, people are more convinced now than ever that aliens could be real and among us already. Number 10. The Mars photos. It has been a few years since NASA first dropped pictures from its Mars rover Perseverance, which has been probing for signs of ancient aliens' microbial life on the Martian surface. These astrobiological excavations of Mars first began in February 2021. 1.5 years later, it has been found that NASA documents containing the samples collected from Mars could hold the first biosignatures of alien life. Author Richard C. Hoagland is one person who allegedly stated that NASA has already found conclusive proof of these civilizations in space and has been hiding them. In 1976, the Viking orbiter captured some images of the Martian surface, and they contained specific structures that hinted at the existence of extraterrestrial life. One of those structures was in the shape of a sphinx made from stone. Aliens may have constructed these because no natural phenomenon could create such intricate forms in rocks. NASA later addressed the event in a report, claiming that the question of life on other planets will always be kept a secret so that the general evolution of the universe may not be disrupted. But like the creation of the pyramids on Earth continues to be a nerve-wracking mystery today, so does this event. Number 9. The Go Fast footage. In 2015, this footage was released along with the gimbal videos. The document was named Go Fast because of the extraordinarily high speed at which the object caught on camera appeared to be moving. The object appeared to be over water, and crews in the background can be heard saying, "What the F is that?" showing signs of shock and fear. Until now, no aircraft invented on Earth could mimic that aircraft's speed. Even the camera struggled to capture the object due to the rate at which it appeared to travel. Even today, the military itself seems to have no idea what happened that day and does not know anything about the origins of such an aircraft. But it is strong evidence that that plane may have been from outer space. Number 8. Flying objects near the Sun. The footage we are just about to discuss originated from a NASA live stream. In 2012, as a live stream featured the Sun, it was suddenly cut off after it picked up some unexplained suspicious occurrences. This video was captured by a camera on board NASA's Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, SOHO. Viewers soon began to speculate and even started to analyze the recorded live stream. A YouTuber then revealed that an unidentified foreign object could be seen hovering in the Sun's orbit at breakneck speeds. In the words of a blogger from the website Gather, the object was described as a metallic jointed spaceship with a gigantic extension, perhaps a boom arm, anchored off its lower end. According to a lead ground systems engineer in the MRL's solar physics branch, Nathan Rich, the spaceship was only a collection of streaks left by cosmic rays and charged particles in space that appear to have whizzed through the camera as the picture was taken. Whatever the case may be, this was undoubtedly one for the books because NASA's untimely cutoff suggests that it may have known what happened and quickly cut off the live stream to hide the occurrence. Number 7. Mysterious Black Cube. Another finding was obtained from the live stream that the space agency cut off, the mysterious black cube that could be seen in the bottom right space right next to the Sun. The object was seen floating for quite a few seconds before the live stream was cut. A self-proclaimed alien expert known as Scott C. Waring took to his UFO sighting blog to state that as he was watching the SOHO Sun viewer, he noticed the black cube in a few video frames. He also stated, right after the cube exited the Sun, a huge solid black screen covered up 25% of the whole viewing area, hinting that NASA used the front of experiencing technical glitches to cover up the incident. This suggests that NASA tried hiding the cube from the public eye. This news was later debunked by Bernhard Fleck, a SOHO project scientist, stating that the cube was only a result of a corrupted telemetry block that occurs often. But many are still not sure whether this was just a glitch or another alien sighting. Whatever the case may be, one thing is sure, the circumstances under which NASA seemed to cover the incident sure seem highly sketchy. Number 6. UFOs spotted on Navy ship. A fighter jet circling the Mediterranean Sea was about to land on an aircraft carrier known as USS-4, but then caught wind of something extraordinary. As the aircraft landed on the deck, the footage captured a weird object stationed just a little ways ahead of the aircraft. This object was triangular and looked unlike any human-made aircraft. It seemed to be quite large and appeared to be floating in the air. As the video went viral, even foreign governments began to question the nature of the scene. They even went as far to accuse the US government of having collaborated with UFOs. The assumption that the object was a UFO was made because the typical shape and look of UFOs that the general public is familiar with resembled that of the object stationed on the carrier. No answers were provided for the scene, and it remains a strange mystery after all this time. Number 5. Unidentified aerial phenomenon. A few weeks ago, a team of NASA researchers formally began investigating UFOs, also known as unidentified aerial phenomenon. This will contain 16 team members, and the study will carry on for 9 months. This effort is directed at laying the groundwork for the future study of the nature of unidentified aerial phenomena for NASA and other organizations. It aims to bring a scientific perspective to the subject and document the unidentified objects that often roam in the sky, as per a statement released by NASA back in June. After a 2021 report from the US government centered on the overwhelming number of unidentified flying objects, which currently amount to 144, a lot of national attention began to surround this phenomenon. The Pentagon itself announced that it was forming an office to study unidentified aerial phenomena back in July. Congress also held a public hearing on the matter. The very existence of such a team is a testament to the reality of UFOs and the very existence of alien life beyond this planet. It seems NASA has finally accepted that there might be other entities besides humans around us. Number 4. Reports of UFOs. The Request for Freedom of Information Act 2000 sought the disclosure of UFO reports. This act exposed over 1,500 pages of news and sightings of UFOs which were to be leaked to the public. This massive file became home to all the information of people who had previously reported any sightings and incidents involving alien activity or activity related to unidentified objects. Furthermore, this report also contained information about all the people who had reported these incidents and sightings and had been physically affected in the process. This was a massive step to ascertaining whether there is life on other planets. Many reports contained events similar in nature, suggesting a high number of witnesses for isolated events. In addition, some of these reports were centered around destruction, fires, and burns likely resulting from a UFO jet or spaceship. This provided physical evidence of the fact that the incidents did occur for reasons that were still disputable. Number 2. The Navy FLIR video footage. The Navy FLIR video footage was one in a set of 3 videos caught by the US military, which caught a UFO sighting. It was leaked alongside the UFO reports file released under the Freedom of Information Act that we discussed a little while ago. The FLIR footage was taken back in 2004 when the USS Navy ship plane was flying across the coast of Southern California. Before the video was recorded, a few reports of unidentified flying objects flying at high speeds in the skies were made. These reports were recorded for over a week before a video was finally shot capturing the phenomenon. In the video, a pill-shaped object can be observed hovering over the vast space captured on camera. The pilot reports having seen an unusually large oval-shaped object which was white and appeared to be over 40 feet long. This was fear-inducing for all 4 people on board the ship who had seen it for over 5 minutes. The video caught on camera, however, only spans roughly 1 minute. An advanced infrared camera was used to track the alien spacecraft gliding through the winds at skyrocketing speeds. Later, the spacecraft, which remains unidentified and completely mysterious, became known as the Tic Tac because of its strange and unusual shape. A pill-shaped vessel hovering in the sky must have been a spectacle to behold. Number 1. Buzz Aldrin. After having been to the moon on the first spaceflight that landed humans on the moon in 1969, Apollo 11 pilot Edwin Aldrin came out in a special on the Science Channel and put forward a conspiracy theory many have still not been able to wrap their heads around. He said that all the astronauts aboard the Apollo 11 saw unidentified objects following them into space. In the special, he later mentioned that he and his partners were briefed not to say anything about the occurrences. The decades-old audio recordings can still be heard, and they seem to be quite authentic. One theory suggests that what they saw was probably one of the panels separating from the spacecraft from the upper stage, but to the astronauts, it had seemed like a UFO had been on their trail. But even a lie detector test was done by the Institute of Bioacoustic Biology and Sound Health to confirm that Buzz was telling the truth. Aldrin has since denied his claim, but some still believe that NASA hushed him to keep these deep dark secrets hidden. Ultimately, there is always an explanation from NASA which seems to justify these occurrences, but the sheer number of these incidents is now starting to seem almost too impossible to be coincidences or misunderstandings.